What's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Saturday. And also, tomorrow, Man City, we face them at the Emirates in what will now be called the Stay Humble Derby. Will Arsenal be able to get one up on Man City after being unbeaten in the last 4 games? Let's talk about it today. We'll go through lineups, we'll go through our recent head-to-head form, and yeah, I guess the lack of transfer news. But yeah, drop a like and subscribe to be a part of the NLG fam. You know what it is. And yeah, I mean, look, stay humble. That's what Haaland last told us in what was a 2-2 mad match between Arsenal and City at the Etihad, where Leandro Trossard was shown a red card, controversially by Michael Oliver once again, going down to 10 men. Calafiori got a banger of a goal. And Haaland and Savinho, I believe, were the ones that got the goal. Now, we'll speak about my thoughts on their attacking presence, even though City and Arsenal, I think both teams haven't been up to the races this season. But where can we capitalize? But first and foremost, I want to touch on this idiot. Let me tell you something, people. Yeah? Stay humble, Gabriel said something at the end of that game. Gabriel said, wait till you come back to our ground. I need our players tomorrow to be on smoke. It's war. We are going to war. I need them to be on smoke tomorrow. And not the kind of smoke where we lose our heads, because I feel like when we play City, the whole Arteta, Pep thing, the whole like just first and second place thing, we challenged but never won it, doubled down by Haaland's comments. And what I loved about that previous match was it showed that Haaland and City were rattled, that we were really actually pushing them. Maybe not to the levels Liverpool have. Liverpool have actually pushed to the point of winning a title and pushed them in ways we haven't. But I think we still really gotten under their skin. Tomorrow, we need to go to war and win all of our battles tomorrow. And I need our players to be on that kind of smoke. Obviously, would have been lovely had we brought a player in. But Arsenal being Arsenal, we love a transfer deadline day signing. We bid for Ollie Watkins, can't get him. We're not doing any release clauses for Gyökeres or Osimhen so far. We could have done that early. Sesko decided not to go for. I don't know what we're doing in the transfer window. So we have to scrap all that and just look to tomorrow. Look, like, Arsenal have been in pretty poor form. When you look at our Premier League, performances, it looks like we've been on a bit of an unbeaten run. Minus some games, Brighton wasn't a good draw, but we've been on an unbeaten run for quite a while. It's a cup competitions where we've been shaking and we've been leaking goals, and we leak goals at the Emirates. That's another one of our key problems, and I want to speak about our defense because I feel like if Calafiori plays tomorrow, of course, Miles Lewis-Skelly, his red card got rescinded, so he's available to play tomorrow. Now, the choice is between Calafiori or MLS. Me personally, I'll go with Miles Lewis-Skelly. We saw in the game at the Etihad and in the Champions League game against Girona, Calafiori does this thing. He plays so advanced, and at this point, he's a better finisher than Havertz. But he leaves his space vacant, or even when he is defending, often he gets dragged out to the center of the pitch or too far out wide, and it leaves a gap in behind. That's how Savinho capitalized on us for his goal against us at the Etihad in the 2-2 draw. And also they found a way in behind in a gap between, I think it was Saliba and Calafiori in that same fixture. So I feel like we really need to be careful who we choose at left back there. And personally, we'll go into that later when we do the lineup builder. Now, shooting boots. Man City have been seemingly getting better and better. Let's have a look at the recent record of both teams. So let's take a look at it. Manchester City, 4 out of the last 5 wins. So they've been on a bit of a run. We hate to see it, but they've gotten some decent wins. Obviously, Club Brugge, that's Champions League. They came back. They beat Chelsea. They beat Ipswich, which was a very convincing 6-0 whitewash. Drew with Brentford. Beat West Ham. Beat Leicester. Now, Arsenal will be a tougher game, but our problem as Arsenal is right now we don't have enough threat. We know this. And we have only a few shining lights. I feel like Partey when he's playing in midfield and not at right back. Miles Lewis Skelly. Nwaneri was so thankful to have back because you could see what he can impact and how he can impact the game against Girona. Martinelli's been getting a few and a couple of assists in the last run of games. Can he show up again? Odegaard only seems to show up when the rest of the team is gelling and doing well. Can he take the reins as captain in this game and get us really to exploit the spaces? Man City have a shaky defense. Their defense is not great, and it's there to be got at. They're leaking goals all over the shop. They leak goals against Bruges, against Chelsea, against Brentford. Like they're conceding goals against West Ham, against Everton. So there's goals to be scored here. It's can we capitalize on it? Because even in games where we have opportunities to score goals, we're not scoring. So we need to think about how we can make sure either our best attackers, i.e., Waneri and probably Martinelli, even though he's not on form, how we can get them more in the box and how we can dominate space with our eights as well. And I think that's going to be the key to win the game. Looking at Arsenal's matches now, let's take a look at our last 5. So we've won one less game than them in the last 5. Of course, oh god, yeah. We beat Wolves despite the controversial decision. Gary Neville was having a little whine about how, yeah, we're entitled. Get out of here, Gary. We beat Wolves despite the madness. Liverpool had the decision they just got away with today. It's quite mad. Like, actually, I'm gonna share screen because you. How are you given a penalty for this? What is the PGMOL? Can somebody actually like? How are they just gifting these decisions? And Arsenal are not the only team that get these decisions against them. But what I'm saying is, just like with Miles Lewis Skelly, just like with Bruno Fernandes, there needs to be an independent regulatory body that really assesses the practices of PGMOL. And that needs to be we need to publicly be able to understand the verdict of their decision, to understand whether the practices are fair and thorough as to how they conduct themselves when it comes to these footballing decisions. That's a story for another day. I was on the topic of Arsenal's fixtures. So, 1-1-0 against Wolves. Great performance from the team once we went 10 men down, and luckily we have MLS back. We drew to Aston Villa. Sloppy goals conceded from crosses, which was really weird and odd to see. We can't have those lapses. We do concede a lot of goals at the Emirates. It's just such a habit of ours. We beat Tottenham 2-1, drew 1-1 to Brighton, beat Brentford 3-1, beat Ipswich 1-0. So we've had a long unbeaten run. But the problem is there's so many of those games where there were draws and we should have picked up wins in, or we should have outscored the opponents by numerous goals. So, man, I don't know what else to say about this team. I think, again, in my opinion, we need to think about how we get Waneri into more goal-scoring positions. He showed against Girona that he can score goals. And whether you go with Martinelli or Trossard, we need to make sure we are dominating the space because their defense is there to be got at. Now, let's go into lineup builder and score predictions. So, let's get lineup builder done, people. Get rid of these ads. Now, apparently Raya might be injured, which is why he wasn't in for Girona. Now, that's deeply concerning because the error that Neto made against Girona was wild. I'm going to put Raya in goal for now, just in case it's like an illness or something. I haven't really heard updates. Now, the back 4, Jurrien Timber has to go in there. Sure. Definitely our best right back, and hopefully we should have Ben White coming back soonish. Honestly, we need this team is so short. It goes, in my opinion, from a challenging top 4 side when we have our best 11 to a like top 8, top 6 side when we're not. When you think about our team and our squad collectively, honestly, when we have injuries to our key players, I feel like we're really hanging on by the skin of our teeth, like at this point. So Timber goes in. Saliba, Gabriel, Thank God Saliba's back from injury and it was only a short-term thing because, yeah, we'll need to really. I want them to bully Haaland tomorrow. I want them to bully him like he ain't never seen before. You need to get onto this guy. Let him know Wagwan. You can't come up against the generals. And yeah, don't you can't come up against our generals like that. Just show him Wagwan. Left back. There's a choice between Calafiori or MLS here. I reckon Arteta will go Calafiori. Me personally, it's Lewis Skelly. We need to find ways to exploit and beat their press. And Lewis Skelly is so good at being press resistant out from the back. His decision making is so mature. You almost like it's almost like you're on eggshells with him. As soon as he gets the ball, you're like, oh, release, release, release. And then he'll just turn out and play such good passes out to really help. Even just the momentum of the passes, he plays and lets you know with intent that we need to be moving up the pitch. Miles Lewis Skelly has to be here. Let's switch up the formation to the 4-3-3. Cool. The general, the midfield general, the conductor, Thomas Partey, CDM. Don't want to see him at right back. Just don't do it. Odegaard. He really needs to prove something. He hasn't been up to scratch recently. So yeah, Odegaard comes in right 8. We need a big game from our captain today. Really big game. Declan Rice. Top quality. He's been performing so well and providing the level of consistency he was last season in the last couple of games, where even if we're not doing well, he is absolutely bossing the box-to-box game. Like he's absolutely bossing and putting so much energy into providing that box-to-box energy, interceptions, tackling, great set pieces, and we might need a set pieces today, so we need to be proper on that. We did manage to capitalize by scoring a goal. I think Gabriel scored, in the last game at the Etihad, so we need to capitalize on our set pieces today. So more of that from Rice. Out wide, yeah, we're gonna need pace. Martinelli and his work rate also defensively is better than Trossard. So Martinelli. Outright, Nwaneri. Need I say any more? The best attacker we currently have in the front three. And purely because we have no other choice, it has to be Havertz. Now, Kai Havertz, you don't look or play like a footballer. I'm just keeping it real. You've had a bad moment. You've had bad moments. You've had a bad run in the last couple of weeks. This is a big game. In fact, you got a couple of goals in the last couple of weeks from Martinelli's cross where you headed it in, but you've had some shocking misses in the last month or so. This is a chance for you as our guy leading the line to show something tomorrow. We need everybody. North London needs to be rocking because when City rock up to North London, they need to know what it is. Havertz especially, I need you. If you don't have the ability to beat a man, make sure you know who you're passing to. Don't hold on to it for ages. Provide some level of presence and aura about you. You know, there are players that aren't the strongest or the quickest, but still have a way about them. So yeah, Havertz, please give us a game tomorrow. You've got this. Give us some goals, please. Listen, people, this is the 11 I'm going with. So Raya in goal. Back four, Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, Lewis Skelly. CDM, Thomas Partey. R8, Odegaard, and Declan Rice. Out on the right, Ethan Nwaneri. Up top, Kyle Havertz. Sounding like Yardman. Kaya Havertz. And out on the left, Martinelli. Let me know what your thoughts are below of the lineups. And I am going to go 2-1 to the Arsenal, but I think this match could genuinely go either way. I think we're defensively inconsistent and offensively inconsistent, and that means the match can genuinely go either way. But I'm going to back the boys. Let's go, you Gunners. Let's get Man City tomorrow. Stay humble at Derby. We'll see what I want tomorrow. Listen, people, that's it from me. Like and subscribe to be a part of the NLG fam. You know what it is.